guys, this is Ramel.
Hey, it's Jenna.
And so we're making this video because a lot of our friends and family have asked for us to make this video because we've traveled extensively with our baby. She just turned 3 and, we've been to about 30 countries with her and about 5 continents, right? So figured we'd go through what we've learned, some of the things we've used for our travel to make things easier. And, there's a lot of topics to talk about, but, we kind of honed in on a few just for this video. And if there's enough demand to make another one or just questions in the comments, we'll address them, right?
Yeah. So a couple of sections that we're going to focus on are the stroller that we used, the car seat, food and snacks, and then just general tips, for on the plane or about, the flight in general. So that's kind of what we're focusing on. But again, like you said, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask, and we'll be happy to answer those.
All right, cool. Why don't we get started? So why don't we get started with strollers?
So the stroller that we have, this is actually specifically for travel. It's the Graco Jet Setter stroller. We've had it since she was 2.5 months old. So for the first trip, this is what we've been taking, and we've used it ever since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So benefits. This is it's a foldable stroller. There's going to be Jenna's going to kind of quickly work through it, and she'll show it here in a second. But at the airport, the best part is you go to the check-in counter, you check in your car seat. You tell them that you're going to gate check the stroller. Mm-hmm. So we use the stroller to go through security. You have to fold up the stroller if it's foldable. So you do the folding, and you can sometimes terminals are really far, some big huge airports. So you want to make sure that you can strap the baby into, because they can throw tantrums in the airport. So gate check. Positives and negatives, right? Especially when you have international connections problems we have seen. Yeah. We haven't necessarily got it at the airport we're transiting. So we've been in Heathrow, we've been in Frankfurt and places like that where we've been there and there's no stroller. So that's when we kind of used our strap, baby strap, if we had them, handy, or if Alia was cooperating, she'd just walk, right? So.
By baby strap, he means a baby carrier.
Yeah, that's what I meant, right? So, it is super beneficial. Just try to make sure you reach out to the gate check-in agent and be like, can we use this stroller or get this returned as soon as we deplane, right? Yeah. There's, we've heard them say, yeah, you're gonna get it, and we come out of the airport, we're waiting at the outside the plane, and it's not there.
It's not there. Yeah.
Just make sure you ask at least, and keep your mind at peace, right?
Mm-hmm. Some of the other pros about the stroller itself, it is relatively lightweight compared to her regular stroller we used to have. It does fold up pretty compact. Also, it's
super lightweight.
Yeah,
I mean for a stroller, right?
Yeah, it's pretty lightweight.
It's less than 15 pounds, I think, right? So,
yeah.
And it's done pretty well in streets of Europe.
Yeah.
Like, we've been in the cobble streets of Switzerland and stuff like that, and Alia was just
seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, so she's super chill, at least in strollers. She likes the vibrations, I guess. Yeah. So if your baby doesn't like it, then maybe look at something that has the big wheels, but those are not compact, right?
Yeah.
So
some of the other things that was good about it, you can also connect your baby carrier car seat to it. So that way you can use it for, when they are an infant, and then when they do get older, obviously you can take that out. One con about that part is you do have to connect some attachments to the stroller before you can click the car seat in. So that was kind of a pain when we were quickly trying to get her in the car seat or in the stroller. But I mean, again, it worked. It still served its purpose. So, we've been using it for 3 years now. So, and it's held up fine.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to do a quick demo here shortly on how that stroller works, and so you guys can see how you know how it all functions, right? So just a note for everybody. We bought this when before Ali was born, right? So the model may not be available right now.
Yeah.
So we'll still put a link to a similar stroller in the description below, and you guys can decide if that works for you. And I think it works similarly, and maybe it doesn't even have that one con that she mentioned of that connector. So it's probably better. You know, we bought it at a reasonable price. We felt it was reasonable at least. So you know, it's one of the best travel strollers. You know, honestly, even you take that one small con, the positives really outweigh.
Compared to a lot of the more expensive strollers that are out there for travel, this one has worked perfectly fine, and it's, you know, less than a quarter of the price. So I mean, we've been nothing but happy, you know, using the stroller, and it's worked fine for Alia.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So you know, without further ado, let's go into a quick demo, right?
Hi guys, I just wanted to show you quickly the stroller we have. Again, this is the Graco Jet Setter. This is what it looks like when it's all folded up. So it does have a carry handle. It does come with a bag as well that you can put it in. But I just want to kind of show you how it unfolds and you know how it works. So that's how you unfold it. So it is, like we said, pretty light. It's pretty easy to, you know, move. It does have a shade. This was actually something we added, so this does not come with it. But there's plenty of storage space. One thing that I don't think we did mention in the other section of the video is that it does not sit up very straight. So this is about as straight as it goes. So she is always kind of at an angle, which I wish was a little different, but it's, you know, it still works for her. But it does recline, you know, pretty well down. And then to put the infant carrier in, these are the attachments that we were talking about previously. So they store back here, and you do have to attach these before you can put the infant car seat in. So this was the part that was a little bit, you know, a little bit annoying, you know, when she was in an infant car seat still. You have to, they slide on here, and then the infant car seat snaps right into here. It also does not fold with these on, so you have to take them off in order to fold the stroller back up. So it was, like I said, it was kind of a pain, but you know, the stroller still served its purpose. In order to fold it, there's a button here, and it just folds down, and that's about it.
So let's talk about car seats. We've used a fair few. We've used, not fair few, we've used 3 really. It's been a trial and error, you know, to understand what fits better, but I'll let Jenna kind of run through them.
Yeah, so for when she was an infant, we had a Graco car seat. I think it was like the DLX 35, something along those lines. But that was her just regular infant car seat that we used every day. It was totally fine for travel. One thing you do have to pay attention to on all car seats, if you plan to bring it onto the airplane, is to make sure that it's FAA approved. There will be a sticker somewhere on the car seat, and it will say that it's certified for use in airplanes. We have had them checked before, so you do need to make sure that your car seat is FAA approved in order to bring it on board. As far as what we use now for her, once she outgrew her infant car seat, we switched over to like a convertible car seat. It's the Even Flow Sonus car seat, and it can be used forward facing or rear facing, and it's relatively lightweight. I think maybe only 8 or 9 pounds, something along those lines. It's not too heavy, and it was also relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, and about the first car seat that you mentioned, the infant car seat, that actually fit into our stroller as well with those connectors that we mentioned when we looked at the stroller. The other one was, famous one, the Wavy Pico. Uh, More cons than pros in our opinion. As you guys, as mothers and fathers, as you guys look to explore, travel more with your kid, you will notice that it is one of the top ones, recommended ones. Very expensive, right? The price, especially with inflation nowadays, has gone even higher, right? There is the biggest positive is it's super compact.
Small. It's very small.
Super compact, folds up. You can carry it as like a backpack.
Like this big.
So
it's really small as far as a car seat. But like he said, there are definitely more cons than pros. It is only forward facing. So we could only use it, I think it's like around, they have to be after 2 and a certain weight. So that's when we tried it. So only forward facing, but there's also no like really good neck support. So whenever she would fall asleep, her neck would just completely like keel over, and she just looked incredibly uncomfortable. And so that wasn't
super tight around the crotch area as well.
The belt buckle at the bottom, there's no adjustment, and it's very short. And so there was no way to make it any bigger for her. And so it would kind of rub against her legs, and she would, she did cry a few times about that. So that was definitely a big con.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're not using it anymore, right? Alia's older than 3, as much as sometimes we want her a little more restrained in the seats, we have decided that, moving forward, we are going to be checking in our car seat. If we are going to be driving anywhere, we're going to be checking in our car seat at the airport, like at the check-in gate itself. And on the plane, she's just going to be sitting in our normal seat. She keeps herself busy right now. I mean, you can give her a tablet, or, stickers, or she's drawing or coloring something. So at this point, that is the best. Would I recommend Wavy Pico? I really wouldn't. I don't.
Not for the price.
Yeah, not for the price. No. If it was maybe 1/3 of its price, I could still see it, but not
it's
really.
It's too expensive for the problems that we came into. So we went back to the other car seat, the Even Flow Sonus, and that's what we use now for her whenever we travel.
And other than that, what we'll do is we'll also put in some of the links,
pictures or links,
for what the links to what we're using the car seats. Even Wavy Pico, if that works for you and your family, go ahead and give it a try. I would personally give it a try and see if it's at a deal where you can probably get it exchanged or maybe even returned if it doesn't work for you, right? All right, you'll see some cool pictures of what we've used here shortly before we kind of go on to the next topic and look at things, right? So the next topic that we kind of want to talk about was, food and snacks. So we'll start with milk.
Alia was formula fed. So when we traveled, we would bring like a travel formula container that we could, make bottles on the plane. We also did use formula packets. They actually sell, we used Enfamil, but they sold like 4 ounce packets of formula that you could mix. And those were really easy to take on plane and just to have on hand for when we were traveling when she was really little.
Yeah, just a quick one. When they're taking off, if they're taking off or landing, try to give them some milk or like a pacifier. It helps kind of with the pressure change in their ears. So yeah, I mean there was like no rocket science in what we did with our milk as in when she was an infant.
Yeah. The other thing about her being formula fed, we were able to bring like a bottle of water on board with us, and TSA just checked it, like they scanned it before we went through, but we did tell them that we needed it for her formula, so they let us go through with it.
Okay. Yeah, and once she became a toddler, we used Horizon boxed milk. That's something we took. But
It's whole milk boxes.
well, what we noticed was they're pretty heavy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I then we looked at powdered milk and we used Nido milk, and there's going to be links to all of these stuff below, and that. Luckily, Alia took well to it, and that that's what we have been taking. It saves a lot of space, and it's relatively small in size and lightweight.
Yeah, the biggest reason why we like to take it with us is we have run into times where we couldn't actually find milk, or we didn't know what milk we were getting. So we like to have the Nido or the powdered milk on hand just in case. And the powdered milk is also really helpful for the travel. In case, they don't have milk on board, or, you just need it quickly. So it's worked really well for us, and Alia likes it. So.
Right. Yeah. So the other one I would say is around talk about snacks, right? So I think Jenna is kind of like the snacks person. So I'm just there looking at her pack. So
snacks, you just want anything you can think of. You want a lot of snacks. Obviously when they're an infant, they don't really eat anything. When they're able to eat some, she just took, the yogurt bites, but we were also able to take the pouches, like the fruit and veggie pouches, even though they were over the, 3 ounce?
3 ounce limit.
3 ounce limit. We were still able to take them with us because it was food for her. Once she became a toddler, and was eating, more things, we would just bring whatever snack she liked at the time. But the problem was a lot of times she wouldn't want to eat what we brought her. So just kind of have a variety, have a lot of them if you can.
And yeah, chances are she will not like what you brought. Like, just telling you, right? Because whatever we bring, she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
She'll probably pick up the Lay's or Pringles that we find at gas stations, and she'll just keep munching on that and make the car seat a mess, right? That we all know how that looks like. Another quick thing that that really helped with water in the car and all of that is a water bottle adapter that we got off of Amazon. That really helped kind of helped us like not carry a bottle every time, but we could just give our water like a Dasani bottle of water and just tie it on top and give it to her, and she took to it really well.
So basically it's just a lid, or the kind of thing that you screw onto a water bottle, but you can flip it around both ways. So it has a smaller and a bigger top, and it's just like a
Yeah, and
I don't know what it's called.
It fits different size
different
bottle
sizes.
openings, right? And the other thing that we also took with us when we call it snack or even food was mac and cheese pouches, right? Because if you know,
mac and cheese,
especially if you have a microwave in your room, take it, because mac and cheese is something kids eat, and you never know. We've been to places where I'm in Pakistan as an example, right? The food is amazing, we love the food, but does Alia necessarily like it?
Always.
Not always, right? So spicy food, things that are a little different, so you want to keep that handy,
or something something that they like, that's easy to bring. But that was always something that we were able to bring, and she eats.
All right, cool. Let's go to the next topic then. All right, guys, the next and the last section that we want to talk about today is stuff we've brought on the plane and things we do on the plane.
I guess to kind of start, what helps when we brought her on the plane, especially when she was little, is we would actually carry her on with a baby carrier. It really does help when you have like your own carry-on bag or anything else that you're bringing on a plane. It helps just having them strapped in, and it just makes the boarding a lot easier.
Yeah, we use different carriers. We've gone through multiple carriers from toddler to infant. Nothing that was super horrible, but nothing that stood out crazy either. And we'll put links, or maybe if there's pictures that I have, I'll put them while we're talking through. You'll see some of those things, but all of them will be there for you. The most recent one we have is a carrier that has what is that thing?
It's a hip seat.
Hip seat, and I think that's been pretty good.
We like that quite a bit.
Especially if you're hiking as well. I mean, not like crazy hiking, but a decent a bit of hiking, that definitely helps. So
yeah, it really helps keep the pressure off your back. So it just has a little seat for them to sit on. So that one was actually pretty good. We liked it pretty well. One of the other things that, like on the plane, again, just a reminder, it really does help to feed them during takeoff and landing. Just helps kind of with the pressure, especially when they are little or infants. It helps, kind of regulate that pressure.
Yeah, and another thing, when the child is less than 2, and when it's infant lap, you can obviously buy your seat as early as they're like a couple of months old. We didn't, right? We with the first 2 trips, we didn't buy any seats. We wanted to save money. Our third trip, even though she was less than 2, we bought a seat because it just got crazy, right? So what you can do is you can request a bassinet seat from the airline. We did the first flight which we took overseas to Europe. We didn't, right? And it was we had her strapped on ourselves. The next one we flew to like Eastern Europe, and it was flying Turkish Airlines. On the way there, bassinet seat worked perfectly, right? So she was great. One thing it was weird was there was a TV right above the bassinet seat, which the one that shows where the plane is flying, and there's like light. So she slept well. But the return flight has to be probably a probably the stuff that nightmares made of.
It was a nightmare.
Like 9-10 hours from Istanbul to Chicago was her fussing and crying, and nothing helped. Candy, walks, whatever, you name it. Right?
The other thing about the bassinet seats is they do have an age and weight limit, and I think she was getting kind of close to the size limit, so I don't know if she was super comfortable in it anyway. So that's something you have to check. I think every airline is different. As far as what their weight limit is for the bassinets, but they can be helpful if your baby
cooperates. So at this point I would not I would definitely check it, right? Especially when they're really young. It keeps your hands free, and you can at least go and sleep, right? Otherwise you have somebody on you. Just something to look at every time you fly, and if you're comfortable, look for a bassinet seat.
Another thing that you probably want to do when you are flying with an infant or even a toddler is make sure you do have extra clothes for them on board and also for you. You don't really want to be in a situation where they have an accident and you don't have any extra clothes for them. So definitely make sure you have clothes for them. And the other really good thing to have on board is like a wet bag or just some sort of plastic bag to put whatever messy clothes you have on board, and that way you have somewhere to store it until you guys do land. The other thing is, how do we deal with tantrums? That's a good question. Pretty much all you can do is, you can walk, walk the kid. If they're an infant, we did use the carrier and would walk up and down the aisles. A lot of times we do, go back to feeding snacks, or worst case, you give them the tablet.
Listen, they own you at that point, right? You're in a closed space. It's funny that, I whatever people may think, at the end of the day, you're 35,000 feet above the ground. They're making a huge deal about it. What are you gonna do, right? You can. For me, whatever is the easy button. If it's snacks, if it's candy, I'll give whatever she needs, to be honest, at that point, just so that she can calm down, right? And then we can negotiate from her calm down to the next phase, right? So she mentioned tablets. Something to talk about tablets is, you obviously won't have Wi-Fi up there or data. You can buy, obviously, but they're usually pretty horrible, and they charge $50 for like 50 megabytes of data, which is nothing, literally. So what we do is we have YouTube Premium, something which I think is one of the best things we subscribe to. So we download episodes of whatever Cocomelon or whatever
show she's into at the time.
And we download about like 50 or 100 of different episodes so that she's not bored. Sometimes, and we can switch around. So that's something definitely to keep in mind, because you don't want to be on a plane and be like, oh my God, I didn't get this, or you're overseas where data is usually patchy, so you want to get that ahead of time.
Make sure you have a variety of shows too, because that's something that happens, is Ollie won't want to watch the same thing she normally watches. She'll want something new. So have a good variety of, you know, whatever it is they like, maybe some new things they've never seen before, to keep them interested.
Yeah. And the last one I would say is activities. Like we've taken multiple different things for her. Again, every kid is different, right? But you know, we've taken puzzles for her. We've taken you know, small, like her toys. Like we always take, like she'll have one of her favorite soft toys, like Pua from Moana or something like that, or like, you know, there's some other activity she usually buys.
Yeah, we've noticed that she seems to like window clings, especially most of the time, you know, when you're with a kid, especially if you bring a car seat on board, they generally have to sit in the window seat. So window clings have been really helpful. They stick to the window, they can stick to the tray table. She really seems to enjoy those. Also just stickers or reusable stickers. You know, they do sell some reusable sticker books that, you know, she can take off, put it back on, put it on the tray table, and it won't leave a mess. So those are really nice. Again, snacks can also be an activity. We're not kidding when we say make sure you have a lot of snacks, because, you know, they like to eat, and, you know, like to, you know, it helps keep them entertained too. So yeah. All
right. Well, that kind of wraps up, you know, what we had in mind. There's a lot of topics that's top of our mind, right? But we wanted to keep this video, frankly, we wanted to make this only 8 minutes, but I'm pretty sure this, by the time by the time I edit this, is probably going to be 20 plus minutes. But, you know, I mean, let us know what you'd like to know about. I mean, you know, if there's a question that I see in the comments that's recurring, right, we'll probably make another video to address it, right? But at this point, we want to wrap this up and you know, kind of give you all of this information. And again, look at the description below. You know, there's a lot of things that we may have talked about and may not as well, right? Because as we edit the video, there might be something up like, oh, you know what, there was that carrier, or there's that thing that we used, and I'll put that all in the description, and you guys can go through that link and you know, and look at it, right, and decide if that's right for you. But other than that, right, so yeah, well, we'll see you some other time. Thanks. Bye.